Here's something no one tells you until it's almost too late. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in women. Not cancer, not strokes, heart disease. And the risk? It skyrockets during and after menopause, but barely anyone talks about it. You go to your GP with hot flushes or brain fog, and maybe they prescribe HRT or just tell you to wait it out. But behind the scenes, your heart could be silently struggling, and the warning signs aren't always the dramatic Hollywood scene we expect. During menopause, estrogen, the protective balancing hormone, plummets. And guess what estrogen does? It keeps blood vessels flexible, supports good cholesterol, and generally acts like a bodyguard for your cardiovascular system. So when those levels start to drop, your body becomes more vulnerable to plaque buildup in the arteries, high blood pressure, and inflammation. It's as if your internal shield weakens all of a sudden, and unless you're paying attention, you might not notice until it's too late. The scariest part? Heart attack symptoms in women are often completely different from those in men. You might not get that crushing chest pain. Instead, it could be something as vague as fatigue, nausea, shortness of breath, jaw pain, or even a simple backache. And because we're taught to be strong and keep going, many women dismiss those symptoms as anxiety, indigestion, or just overdoing it. Then there's the gradual rise in cholesterol and blood sugar during this stage of life. Even if you've never had issues before, hormonal changes can shift the whole picture. You might notice that belly fat starts to creep in. Yes, that stubborn, frustrating weight gain isn't just cosmetic. That visceral fat can wrap around your organs and raise your risk of insulin resistance and heart issues. And yet, it's still treated like a beauty problem when it's actually a glaring red flag from your body. But here's a twist that might surprise you. Emotional stress during menopause plays a massive role in heart health. When we're losing sleep over night sweats, riding emotional roller coasters from hormonal changes, juggling work, family, and aging parents, it's a perfect storm. Your body's stress response system is overloaded, cortisol stays high for longer, your heart rate can fluctuate, and over time, that chronic stress wears down the cardiovascular system. Let's be honest, most of us have been taught to ignore our bodies, to push through no matter what. But this stage of life demands the opposite. It's time to start listening more closely. If your heart starts racing for no reason, if you feel dizzy when you stand up, or if your breathing just feels off, these aren't things to brush aside. These are whispers that could turn into screams if you don't pay attention. And while we're talking about things that get overlooked, let's talk about how many doctors still fail to link menopause to heart health. You show up with heart palpitations or high blood pressure, and you might leave with anxiety meds, when what you really need is a deep dive into your hormones, cholesterol, and lifestyle triggers. Being told you're just getting older isn't good enough. This isn't about aging. It's about a dramatic hormonal shift that rewires your entire body chemistry. I'd really love to hear from you. Have you ever had strange symptoms you ignored only to find out later they were serious? Or maybe you're going through something now that doesn't feel right, but no one's taken it seriously. Drop a comment below, and let's start a real conversation. Your story might help another woman recognize a warning sign and take action in time. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. When we know what's going on in our bodies, we stop guessing and start acting. And there's so much you can do to protect your heart once you know where to look. Before we continue, something important. In the description of this video, I've left a resource that could really help you through this stage. It's something several women are starting to use and are seeing real changes. If you're curious, have a look later. It might be just what you need. So what can you really do about it? First off, awareness is your best weapon. Knowing that menopause can silently affect your heart gives you a huge advantage. This isn't about panicking, it's about tuning into the signals. That shortness of breath when climbing stairs that used to be a breeze, that sudden wave of fatigue that hits you like a truck mid-afternoon, those subtle, creeping changes are your body trying to have a proper chat with you. Start by getting the right checkups. And I don't just mean your basic once-a-year blood pressure reading. Ask for a full lipid profile, get your triglycerides checked, know your HDL and LDL levels, and don't let anyone brush you off with, "Oh, it's still within range." What was normal for you at 35 might be risky now. Your body's in a completely different phase. Your baseline values are shifting. Own that and demand answers. Here's something hardly anyone talks about: the role of sleep in heart health. During menopause, sleep becomes a disaster. Between night sweats, waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, and the mental load of life, it's rough. But poor sleep is directly linked to high blood pressure, arrhythmias, and inflammation. And still, so many women treat sleep like an optional luxury. It's not. It's just as vital to your heart as food and movement. Treat it like gold. Let's talk food, but let's be real. You don't need to eat like a monk or strip every ounce of joy from your meals. But you do need to understand what triggers inflammation and what supports your hormones. Ultra-processed snacks, sugary drinks, and greasy fried foods don't just mess with your waistline. They actively stress your cardiovascular system. Meanwhile, things like omega-3s, magnesium-rich greens, and fiber-filled meals help steady your blood vessels and lower cholesterol naturally. Another thing that slips under the radar: how menopause affects your nervous system. Maybe you've noticed your tolerance for stress has dropped. You're more on edge, more anxious, more reactive. It's not in your head, it's physiological. And when your nervous system is stuck in high alert, your heart never gets to rest. Heart rate variability drops, blood pressure stays high, your body thinks it's in survival mode, all the time. So don't underestimate the power of small daily habits. A 20-minute walk in nature, gentle breathing exercises, even having a good laugh with a friend. All of that soothes your nervous system and gives your heart a break. This isn't woo-woo, it's biology. And let's be clear, hormone replacement therapy isn't the villain it's made out to be. For some women, HRT can be a total game changer, not just for hot flushes or mood swings, but for heart health too. Sure, it's not a one-size-fits-all fix, and not every woman is a candidate, but it's worth discussing with a doctor who actually knows about menopause. Yes, those doctors do exist, even if they're rare. Too many women are told, it's just menopause, and sent on their way, while the real danger like rising coronary risk goes completely unnoticed. This stage of life shouldn't be about crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It should be about taking back control, getting the right tools, and being treated like the smart, intuitive woman you are. And while we're here, let's bust another myth. Heart attacks don't care what you look like. You can be slim, active, and still be at risk, because it's not just about weight. It's about inflammation, genetics, hormones, and stress. So don't let your appearance or anyone else's opinion convince you that you're safe. You deserve to feel strong, informed, and secure in this phase of life. Your heart works every second of every day to keep you alive. The least we can do is listen when it whispers for help, before it starts screaming. If this video made you pause and reflect on your health, or reminded you of someone you love, share it. Let's stop staying silent about serious stuff. Let's protect ourselves and each other. And if you're still here, it means you're ready to take this seriously. So hit subscribe, because in the next video, we're going to uncover something even more surprising about your body during this phase, something no one's told you, but you really need to know.